Hello, it's me, Franklin Donnie D. You know me from Behind the Curtain, Donnie D Soul Sundays, Donnie D Soul Gumbo, and 2 books that I put out. But right now I'm going to talk to you and bring you 2 people here at the Behind the Curtains that you know. Mr. Johnny Schaefer and Grammy Award winner, Melissa Manchester. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Great.
Happy to be here.
Yes, indeed. I'm so happy and blessed that you guys came to my show. You've been here before.
Yeah.
You've been on my other platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, they have a new song out, but we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But what I want to know, and you probably want to know, how you 2 get together? Who wants to take that?
That's a long story, but you know, I always say Melissa was a beacon of light to me in the 70s when I was growing up in a small town. We talked about this on the last time I was on, that I went through some really tough times, and her songs are so uplifting and so positive and affirmative, and it just helped me to find my way through some rough times. And I used to write songs and send them to her on cassette tapes.
Cassettes, ladies and
Little
gentlemen.
Johnny.
And her managers, the girls in the office that would mail them to, thought it was really cute, and they would send me cute little notes back and things like that. And then when I was in college, I started studying with her voice teacher. Okay. And then we just, over time, became friends. I was on the Patrons of the Performing Arts group at College of the Canyons, and they opened a big performing arts center in Santa Clarita, and Melissa came and did the fundraiser, the big board dinner there, and I kind of helped orchestrate that concert, and through that I got to be friends with her manager, Sue.
Okay.
And then we just kind of continued to get closer, and then my husband Paco started making her music videos, and so we started working more closely together with that. And then happily, I sent her a new song I'd written called "You Can't Hide the Light." There's so much light in her music, and I really felt that this song would work well with 2 people singing, and happily she said yes.
Right, but the first time I heard it, it was such a complete world that he had created. I thought to myself, well, this is so great. And I told him, I said, this is so great, but you don't really need this to be a duet. And he said, yes, oh, please. And I, okay.
And it worked out fine.
It did. It worked out beautifully.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard about it. You Can't Hide the Light. Let's check it out right now.
The thing about barbed wire is that you can see right through it. The thing about you is that you're transparent too. The thing about us is that we put up defenses, but still all of this light just keeps bursting right through. You can't hide the light. Sometimes the race, sometimes the you can't hide the light. It's like the sun and then the stars. You can't hide the light. 24/7 January through December. Sometimes I think that you forget. Don't worry, I remember.
The thing about white lies is that you can see right through them. About your eyes is they show the real you. The thing about us is that the gap is connection. The soul of this light just keep bursting right through. You can't hide.
thought I was lost in the darkness. I couldn't make anything out. I remember that first healing flicker, like finding a stream in the midst of a long, hard drought. Now I drink in all your lies. Drinking all your lies. So many times when it's been dark, your love is shown the way. So many others start to shine when you decide to show it. It just takes turning on a light and darkness goes away. Another thing about barbed wire is that you can slip right through it. Another thing about you is that you cut to the chase. Another thing about us is that we've learned how to let go. Now I got to bask in all this light from your face. I keep the dawn of you with wonder and anticipation. Your light is unaffected by the fog and clouds and rain. I like the moon, your light is fueled by self-illumination. You might disguise it, but it never fully goes away. Sometimes I think that you forget, don't worry, I remember.
Okay, we're back. Man, oh man. Tell us, how did you enjoy doing that video, Melissa?
I loved doing the video. I love working with Paco, and I love Johnny's husband, and I love working with Daniel, who is Paco's business partner. He has directed a lot of theater in Europe, and so his camera eye, his staging eye, his concept, his compositional eye is really beautiful. He creates beautiful pictures.
You can see
and
that.
to have the beautiful dancers,
Yes.
Hillary, what's her name?
Hillary Thomas.
Hillary Thomas. And do you remember the fellows?
Erica Lynn, the female is Erica Lynn Piccolo, and Christian, oh my goodness.
That's okay.
Yeah, Christian is the dancer.
Christian.
Anyway, it was so beautiful because they underscored the composition, because the song has so many vocal layers to it, that it really allowed itself to be choreographed, to be
Yes.
lit, to be shot.
Yes.
It was just beautiful. It was a beautiful experience.
Who wrote that song?
I did.
Ah, ladies and gentlemen, there's a Grammy winner coming right here. Yes, indeed. Okay. I was wondering about this because I watched the video many times.
Thank you.
Tell me about the barbed wire.
So this song came about just a few days after my mother died. Last time I was on here, we talked about how she had
You had a
cancer.
surprise coming for us.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
This is
yeah,
the-
yeah.
This is a
it.
surprise right here,
That's
ladies and
right.
gentlemen.
Yes,
Surprise.
So
exactly.
go ahead.
So yeah, my mother and stepfather both died 4 months apart, and Paco and I went up and we were their caregivers in Olympia, Washington. And right after she passed, her landlord got wind that a gay couple was living in one of her units,
Right.
and kind of forced us out.
Oh, wow.
So even though he had paid for the place for a whole month, we had to go live somewhere else during the pandemic. And then we were only allowed in there during the day. So I was really angry.
Discrimination lawsuit.
Yeah, I know.
man.
Yeah. And then the election had just happened, and there was so much, polarization, so much anger everywhere. And
So
my spiritual path teaches me to see the light in everyone, and so I have to really remind myself that when I'm having a conflict with someone, they're not in their right mind, or they're not their true self, and it's up to me to remember who they really are, remember the light in them. And there's, I think, a Buddhist phrase, the light in me salutes the light in you, or there's the Christ in me salutes the Christ in you. So different ways of just acknowledging the higher person, and remembering that when you're interacting with people. And so then I thought, well, how could I put that into a song? Because maybe that could be a contribution towards more people remembering to see the light. And then I got the visual of barbed wire, and I thought, well, what's interesting about barbed wire is it's so dangerous, but you can see the light shining right through it. And so I thought, well, maybe that could be an angle for the song. And so the song, it could be about a romantic relationship or relationships between groups of people or between nations. It's really just about seeing the other and, the other person as their higher self instead of choosing to see the darkness in people.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I like to interview this guy. He's deep. He's deep, the philosopher, I want to call him. But no, seriously, that sounds, because I didn't get that right from the beginning. I was thinking maybe it was a love song, and now you've cleared it up for us, and that's to you, man.
I think it certainly could be a love song, but
Yeah.
or about a romantic relationship.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
a lot of times, you can see other things in songs.
Yeah. Now, Melissa, you have done so many different things in your life, in your career, and still doing things, and we're going to have her on another show, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to talk to her about that. So hold on, it's coming. Now, Johnny says to you, the kid that just used to follow you around and sort of like throw you little love letters. Do you love me? Put yes or no.
Stuffed toys.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And he comes to you with this song.
Yes.
And you must have had a lot of faith in him to get it, because you guys sound like you, Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, like you've been singing together.
Yes. Well,
Like it was a natural thing.
yeah, it was very interesting because I have known Johnny in a particular way through his cassettes
Yeah.
over many years, many decades, really.
Okay.
And in the last couple of years, I did not know the reason, but I noticed this tremendous leap in the development of being a songwriter. He really is embodying his voice as a songwriter.
Yeah.
He's really creating his world as a songwriter. And as a songwriter, that's what you do. You create a world that wasn't there before you wrote it. That's just the way, that's the magic of songs, particularly if they really last or if they really speak, because songs have a remarkable power. They can save lives, they can galvanize nations, they can give voice to marginalized people. That's what a song can do. It can unify a thought. But until it's written, the world doesn't exist.
Right.
And so to really hear this huge leap in development of a soul connection to his writing, a completion of his vision, his songs just started to feel more and more complete, one after another. And I thought, and by the time he sent me You Can't Hide the Light, I thought, well, hello there.
Yeah, he's
hello,
ready to
welcome
go.
back.
Yeah, he's ready
good
to go.
see you.
Yeah.
And so that was really intriguing.
And that's, I think I might have known Johnny maybe a year or two that you first came on the show and we were doing some of his music. I have heard the growth in his music myself.
Oh, it's gigantic.
Yeah,
It's gigantic.
It is.
When I first heard, first heard You Can't Hide the Light, as I said before, he sent me this track, which is very dense. Lots of voices, 55 tracks of just voices. And the voices, in a very interesting way, are not background voices. Usually on a record, the background voices are usually just echoing a title or something.
Right.
But in this, he literally creates his own Greek chorus, making a commentary on the two lead singers as we're all singing. It was wild. I've never heard that before. It was
Right.
really unique.
Well, if you never heard it before, you got something going on there, man.
Right. So I thought, let me be a part of that. That's thrilling.
Yeah. 'Cause like I say, for those out there, Google it up, go purchase it. I say go purchase it. What's the name of the tune?
You Can't Hide the Light.
Okay, and where is it? Can we get it on all platforms?
Yes.
You can, and it's now on my YouTube channel. And the interesting thing about the video on my channel, I don't know if it's the same on yours, but mine has all the lyrics.
Yes,
written
I saw
out.
both of those.
So you can
Yeah.
see all of those millions of words coming
Yeah.
at you, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, we had a lot of people asking for that because they said, "Oh, there's just so much going
So
on."
many words, yeah.
And I try to go down in the description and look at the lyrics, but it'd be nice to have them right there.
Yeah.
So Paco put the lyrics under it, and yeah, it does help because then you can kind of, you know.
Yeah, because the lyrics of all of the singers that are singing, quote unquote, background to the two lead singers are really like angels reminding everybody. They just keep singing. You can't hide the light. You know you're there. You just don't remember, but you're there. You're in the light.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's
Well,
beautiful.
okay, speaking of background singers and musicians, where are the background singers? Where'd you guys get the background singers?
Stefan, the
That's
producer, did some
you.
of it.
Yeah.
We did some of it,
Yes,
and Sue Holder,
Yes.
Melissa's manager, singer.
Oh.
We just
jack
kept
of all
piling
trades.
on. We just kept stacking
Yeah.
and stacking and
Okay.
stacking and stacking.
Now, the musicians, the bands that you work with, or union, where you get these?
Stefan Oberhoff, and he's right here in Pasadena.
Uh-huh.
He's done a lot. He was, I think, your music director, right? Or
Well,
for-
he's my keyboard player and guitarist and accordionist.
Oh,
He plays
accordion.
anything, yeah. He plays,
Was that him at the beginning of the video on the acoustic?
It's
No.
him, it's him
No.
playing,
That's him
but someone
playing.
impersonating.
Oh, he's acting it
He
out.
couldn't be
Yes.
there that day.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So, Johnny and Melissa, what do you want? Where do you want this song to do out there? I mean, I know you have a vision of who you want to hit, what you want to hit. What do you want out?
Well,
what do you want this
I mean,
song to
obviously,
do?
it'd be great if it was a hit.
Yeah, of course, right, right, me and Sally.
And it is getting more and more airplay all the time.
I bet.
I think,
I bet.
It is.
you know, obviously it's a message that I would love people to hear, and so I just think the more people that hear it, I was telling Melissa the other day, I used to tell people if I could do for someone what Melissa does for me, that would be it, and with what her music does for me. And I'm having people tell me that. So I think to be able to have a song that, you know, people are telling me, oh, it keeps going around in my head. That's so cool to me, like to know that someone's walking around hearing my song in their head.
Well, it does get them there because I was singing it in the shower, and I'm not joking, y'all. I had Alexa turn it on.
Nice.
Yeah.
At Amazon Music. Now, you guys did such a great job as a duet. Do you have any more, Melissa, have any more duets lined up, you two, or guys with someone else? Because you guys are good at duets. I think you
you.
two should stick together
Thank
and
you.
do some more.
The beginning of the journey.
No, seriously. What y'all think? You saw the video? Inbox me. Or DM me, one of the two. But yeah, I
know you guys are going to talk about it on your show. She's got
Yeah.
a lot of great stuff
Oh
going on.
yeah,
so,
yeah. We're gonna get to that too, because like I said, she'll be on the next show. But I'm a critic, and I may not know about football and basketball, all the sports. My ex-wife knew more about the Super Bowl than I did. But the thing about it is, I think I know music. I've been listening. Grew up in Los Angeles and Pomona, California, but I've been listening. Music's what saved my life. All types of music. You know, I went from Rolling Stones to Tiny Tim to James Brown to Funkadelic, you know, Public Enemy. I've done Melissa Manchester. Done them all. You know, and I'm not going to just say this because you guys are sitting here on my show, but it's a great song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to answer your question, if I can chime in.
Yes.
I mean, my vision of this is to have it at halftime, you know, where people were singing "We Are the Champions," let them sing "We
Ooh.
Can't Hide the Light" in support of their team. I think that would be fantastic.
Wow.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Bring it.
How can we get this to whoever's in charge of?
He'll figure it.
Yeah, we got to do some homework.
This is a one-man band.
Yeah, but
honestly.
But that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Interestingly, there are sites where you can submit for sync licensing.
Yeah.
And I sent it in for a couple of NFL shows.
Of course you did. What did I tell you?
This guy,
Of
like you
course he
say,
did.
he's a worker. He's a worker, isn't he? Man, could you be my agent,
We
man?
can just go home. He'll take over. Don't you worry. You're in good hands.
Yes, indeed. So, you grew up in Pasadena, Southern California area?
In Porterville.
Okay,
Central
you're in North.
California.
And how about where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Bronx and Manhattan.
Ah, she's
Yes.
from back east, huh?
I am, yes. I
Yeah.
had a very interesting childhood. My father was a bassoonist with the Metropolitan Opera.
A bassoon.
So I grew up backstage a lot, and my mother was a pioneer in the fashion design industry. So my sister and I grew up on the Upper West Side in a very interesting neighborhood. I did lots of odd jobs growing up. I worked in the first season of Sesame Street in the editing room.
Oh.
As a gopher, I parked cars for a little theater company. They didn't know I didn't know how to drive, and I didn't think I should tell them.
You hear that, folks?
And, you know, I was,
Hear that?
I was an
They looking for you.
Yeah, I was an usherette at the Vivian Beaumont Theater at Lincoln Center. I was in street theater. I just was very, very, very busy. And on top of that, I was a jingle singer. And so that's where I really cut my teeth on performing.
Jingles. You know any jingles that we might know about?
Oh, all of them. Morton Salt and McDonald's and lots and lots of them. That's where I met Patty Austin and Valerie Simpson and Nikki Ashford and Barry Manilow.
Barry, he made big money doing.
Yes.
Started off doing jingles,
Yes,
didn't he?
yes, because he also composed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's where we all learned how to think on our feet and really try to glean what a client was trying to ask us to do, you know, and the client had no sense of music. They were just asking us to make adjustments. But we really all learned and we all supported each other, and it was a very, very exciting time in New York because we were all trying to get record deals or publishing deals or be in theater or be on television. It was a really brilliant time.
Okay. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, she'll be on the next show, but I still have some questions for this show also. When did you come to California?
I came to California in the 70s because I was recording out here over and over, and I was on the road so much that the idea of going back to Manhattan after being on the road just felt like I was on the road more. And once I got out here with my band, and they put me up at Liberace's old house in Sherman Oaks with the piano-shaped swimming pool. Oh,
Seriously?
yes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes. You know, and I had never seen produce so beautiful as what was out here. I'd never barbecued in my life. I mean,
Lord have
I lived in
mercy.
the Bronx. There was no place to barbecue.
Come to the hood.
You know? Thank you. And so it was just different. It was just different. It was beautiful, and it was, you know, it was 73 degrees in January.
Right.
So I stayed and I raised my kids out here and have recorded a lot and written with a lot of beautiful people and continue to.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that in the next show because, I mean, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now for you, my son.
My boy.
What's going on there, kid? Porterville to Pasadena?
Well,
In between?
I was
Compton,
at Cal,
Watts,
I
in
went,
between?
I went to Cal State Fullerton.
Okay.
Was a music major there. Worked at Disneyland while I was going to school there.
Okay.
Sang in shows and was in the Main Street Electrical
Oh,
Parade.
so you were
and-
up and down. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So, yeah, I was
okay.
in the parades and shows there.
Okay.
It was a great college gig because you'd work like maximum 4 hours, but a lot of times it would only be 2 hours, but you always got paid for 4. And then when we weren't on stage, you could do your homework. So it was a nice gig. So, and then I started singing at Blessed Sacrament Church in Hollywood. And so I'd come up here on weekends, and my grandmother at the time lived in Glendale, so I'd come up and stay with her. And then I just started meeting people. And so I think I moved to LA, I don't know, in the 80s. At some point, yeah.
You know, the 70s and the 80s, Los Angeles and Hollywood was something else. Whiskey, a go-go, disco, 9000, the Roxy.
Yeah, the Troubadour.
Troubadour.
Played there many times.
Did you? Yeah,
yeah.
we're going to get to that too, buddy. The Troubadour. Man, Hollywood, I mean, I've been there recently. It's nothing.
No.
Nothing
No.
compared to back in the day. I remember going to Whiskey A Go Go, and I think I went to see a group called the Silvers, and Billy Preston, different people sitting in the audience. Billy Preston jumped up and did this, and it's somebody else. But I mean, I have been in Hollywood and have seen Maurice White of Earth, Wind and Fire walking down the street. Yes, my favorite band of all time.
Come on.
I've seen them about 20
They are
times.
tattooed on my heart.
Yes, about 20 times.
Yes, of course you have.
Yes. But, so what was your experience like coming to Hollywood? Like when I said, when I worked at TV, there would be all of us background actors. People come from all over the world to be in the movies. And people ask me, oh, you from LA and you ain't a star yet? So when you came out here, how did you get accepted, or how did you feel about Hollywood?
Well, in those days, it was still complicated for women artists.
I bet.
You were really at the behest of management, lawyer, press, accountant, record company, and their vision for you.
Right, with the yes.
Yeah, and by the time I got out here, I was working on my third album, which was the first album for Arista. Arista had absorbed the record company Bell Records, which is the company that I made my first two records on, and the president of Arista was Clive Davis.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was a big engine, and there's a lot to be said for a big engine.
Yeah, I bet.
Because it's a big bank, and a lot of people working your stuff. But it was very hard for me to find my voice, my artistic voice for a while, and so when I teach as an artist in residence at Citrus College, I'm frequently taken by the fact that young students are very educated in royalties and contracts and how to write and how to perform and how to stay strong, but there's such a big potential for them signing another stupid contract like I did. Don't get me started.
Go ahead.
Don't get me started.
We get started on the next show. But yeah, they got these 360 deals. And my son was telling me, man, if I sell T-shirts at my concert, they get a part of that. Part of they own you, baby.
They get everything.
They get everything.
Yeah, it's like the 1950s all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like Prince put the thing on his face, slavery, with Warner Brothers. He was just saying how, man, these record companies,
Well, because they've discovered smaller pieces of the pie.
Yeah.
And they put it under this umbrella code word called incentivization.
Oh.
Ta-da.
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 Yeah.
Yes. So it's just very, very interesting. But I must say, to your point, this in my experience, this I feel is the golden age of the independent artist.
Yeah, I was just getting ready.
I mean, I learned about independent artists honestly through my students, because I was a adjunct professor at USC at the Thornton School for 4 years, and I got to know my young students who said, you should be an independent artist. You should do crowdfunding. I said, great. What is that?
How you do it? Come teach me.
Right. And so one of my students came up and introduced this to Sue Holder and me, and I said, start every sentence with once upon a time, otherwise I won't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, before we have to go, Johnny, you believe in independent artists or signing the big deal? $60,000 advancement, $100,000 advancement. Sell your soul. Indie, all right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. I got to run. They gave you a lot of knowledge and fun. We'll see you on the next show, Behind the Curtain.